ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to talk about here today. We are on the GotchaCast. Once again, I am joined by Saint Tontas, Ryuku, Ethan, Gotcha, Smack, and Genocide. You probably know them before. They've been on previous episodes. We were talking about things in the terms of more recently into the early section of the podcast. We're talking about the HSR 3.1 live streams, how we all feel about it, as well as other games like Wuthering Waves 2.1, Genshin Impact 5.4, and most likely Limbus Company. At the very end, there will be spoilers. If you do not want to listen to that part, skip that. But for all Limbus enjoyers, there will be a section of that and anything else anybody wants to talk about. But without further ado, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to every single channel here. Go follow them all on Twitch. The link will be in the description. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Let's get into it. What did you all think of the HSR live streams, and what did y'all's chat think? I'm curious. Anybody wants to jump in for that?
It'd have been 20 minutes. I think that Divergent universe actually doesn't look that bad. It looks kind of interesting. But other than that, it's just a fucking patch, and it should have been 20 minutes. I feel like they really like that VA's voice. What card is that? That looks familiar. And it's like, holy fuck, bro. Like, it's too early for this. Like, get this shit the fuck out of here. Like, 20 minutes, get it over with. That's it.
Okay. All right. Smack, what'd you think, man? You said you wanted to end stream after that shit.
I did. It gave me a bit of nostalgia of 3.0 storytelling, bro. I was like, that's a lot of waffling and not a lot of showing.
Yeah.
I asked my chat at the end of the stream. I said, "What do you guys rate it?" And I was actually expecting to see like some 6s and 7s. They went with 1, 2s, and 3s, just like I did. So even the chat unanimously was pretty fucked up. You know what's funny is I went into the actual bot chat, the HSR chat, and even people in there were complaining. I said, "Holy shit!"
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mr. Pokey's chat.
No. Yeah. No, it was bad, man. It was bad. It was that Teletubby vibe. It looks like they're targeting like a child, and instead of like even a teen, and not even targeting a teenager. It looks like they're targeting a child, man. It's pretty bad.
Wait. Speaking of Teletubby, did you guys see the new collaboration MiHoYo's doing with one of their games with Teletubbies?
No, shut the fuck up.
No way.
Tears of Themis. You guys know that game? That's like the Love and Deep Space that they own. Teletubbies official collab. I'm gonna link this in the Discord.
No, there's no way.
That's fucking insane.
Oh wait, no, this is gonna ruin my whole day.
I'm not even making this up, bro.
Wait, it's real.
Oh no, it is real. Yo, that is fucking crazy.
The fuck? Okay, I'm gonna make a whole ass 40-minute.
Yeah, I thought you would like that, especially, bro.
That's crazy. That's
Damn.
Insane. Holy shit.
Yeah, that is insane.
I don't get it.
Smack made the perfect segue into that, bro. Like, holy.
Is that still a dating game too, or am I bugging?
Oh,
is
God.
it not?
I think so, yeah.
Like, I know it's not as bad, but
right now, let's go.
I mean, that's what I get though, man.
What the fuck?
Yeah. The shit they explained is like literally the way they did everything is the literal opposite of Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves was too much information in too short of a time. There was too short information in too fucking long of a time, man. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
So okay,
You need it in the middle.
let's break this down bit by bit. Genocide, I know you didn't see any of this. Feel free to skip through the live stream while you want. But
No, yeah, that's what I've been doing, bro. It looks boring as hell, man.
Hell yeah.
Like the first half was like My Day and Tribby. Like that's it.
Yes, that's a great talking point. Any overwhelming thoughts on Tribby? Let's focus on Tribby right now. Are we excited for her? Or how are we feeling about that?
It's adorable, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
Tribby, I like her for meta purposes, and that's it. I don't even like how she looks, and I y'all know I'm not a fan of the smaller characters. It's not even that. I just don't like her hairstyle, bro. I don't like anything about her, honestly. But meta wise would be the only reason I'm picking her up.
Yeah, I was told to get her for Herta, and that's it.
Buffs, debuffs, AoE, that sort of thing. Like, yeah, her kit's pretty decent, but like, just personally, like her voice sounds really reminiscent of Paimon as well. Was it just me? Like, it's like an octave. It's like pure Paimon. Like, can you just shut up, please?
I thought she was a higher pitched March 7th. Because I had it like kind of like playing off screen as well while I was watching some of your guys' streams, and I was just like, wait, is that March 7th?
Yeah,
a couple of times.
Did you guys see Sayu's tweet about Tribby a couple weeks ago?
Oh yeah.
No, wait,
Smack, did you see this?
Wait, give me. I'm gonna shoot from the hip here and say, is this supposed to be his spouse?
Yes.
Ah, fuck me.
So for anybody who doesn't know, everybody in this tweet. So Sayu, the voice of Jing Yuan, his IRL wife is the voice actor of Tribby. And so when Tribby came out, he posted a photo of Tribby and say, "That's literally my wife." And then everybody on the internet starts calling this guy a pedophile, bro. It is so funny.
I feel like
oh no,
it takes a special amount of brain power to not think how that doesn't look. Just
I know.
You don't think that's a red flag just to post. It's kind of like, yeah, this. Fucking.
It's actually so funny, bro. Like that should have me fucking cackling. But yeah. You know, despite popular opinion, I actually quite like how Triby looks from a gameplay perspective.
That's crazy.
I really like the cannon. I think the cannon's cool. I think the rocket ship's cool. And you know, she's a kid character that actually doesn't make me want to fucking vomit. I think she's not sexualized at all, which makes me happy. She just seems cute, seems fun. I think it's fine. I think they could have done more with her animation for like the stars and sparkles for her alt animation, but other than that, she just looks like a fun character. I will probably pull her unless she's only viable via E1, which I'll just skip on her at that point.
Nah, she'll be solid at E0. And to be fair, you're right, man. For a Harmony, now that I think about it, he brings that up. For a Harmony character doing all of those attack animations while buffing the team, that's actually a step up from what we normally see from a Harmony character.
Yeah. No, I think it actually looks fun. I also like Triby in the story too. I thought it was nice how she said if Aglia was going to do anything bad to her, I would have stepped in, which is cool. She's not a pussy. It feels cool. And let's move on to My Day. My Day is something that I am really confused about because he was my favorite character in all of Amphorius design-wise. I think he looks amazing. And JP, he sounds amazing. I was very let down by his kid. I don't know. It did not impress me whatsoever.
Really? I actually thought
I'm so glad.
I just thought the animations were cool. I feel like there's a lot of people shitting on it. There wasn't anything about it that I was like, that's kind of whack. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just had too low of expectations because I didn't do the story.
Me personally, brother, I had a Spartan in my mind. I had Pantheon from League in my mind. I had like Blood, Takeaways, fucking Spear, martial arts stuff. And all I saw was a meathead with some crystals and one punch to the ground from like, what is with this punch to the ground shit? These devs can't cook up anything else, bro. Like this punch from the ground, buddy, from Zenless Zone Zero does the same thing. I'm so tired of seeing that animation. But that was me, Ethan. I'm not trying to take away from your experience.
No, I get that. I get you, like from the imagination, like the way it is, like the Greek mythology stuff. Like it can be something crazy instead of like a red Sanhua. I just thought visually it looked cool, though. I'm not gonna lie, but I get like going in one or more for sure.
I think when he summons the lion image comes out of the
that
ground,
looked cool.
It looks cool.
That was cool.
But everything else feels underwhelming. What are you trying to say, Ryuku?
I was gonna say, lore-wise, he seems like a combination of like Heracles or Hercules, Achilles, the way like they explained it, and also in the design with the lion as well. I also got like, speaking of Spartans, Leonidas, because his name Leonidas is actually about lions and lions as well. Like lore-wise, My Day is really damn cool. Like, and also design-wise, he looks like a Gilgamesh. We all know that as well.
100%.
And also when he was sitting in the chair, I saw Black Adam. I don't know, like the way you're sitting in the chair, that was like pure Black Adam for me. Like the way you're sitting in the throne. But that was
like
really
The Rock?
cool. I like. Yeah, the the original
before Wayne actually.
All right.
But like, and I kind of like. I really like the crystals as well. Like the way the crystals looked. Like the animations were really cool. But like the kit, it was like everyone just saying Blade. It's just another word. It's just Blade.
It does. It is just Blade.
That was disappointing. Disappointing. Like, that I will say the kit was whack.
Yeah,
I think Blade looks better.
HP scaling.
Same actually.
Blade. Yeah.
Because like
Blade.
My take on him is that like he didn't really seem to have the most exciting kit, and so I thought the animation side was going to be a bit more original. And I really wish they leaned a lot more into the whole Gilgamesh thing, and then maybe had him like make swords or weapons out of like earth and then throw them at the enemy. That probably would have been a lot cooler. But right now it looks like he's like a budget or not like a budget, but like an earthbender, and it's kind of like all right, like
earthbender with crystals.
Yeah, like crystals are coming up. He makes like one drag or one lion, and like I don't know. It did it. When you see a kit like that seems like so simple, or that we've already seen the kit before. I expect the animations to be like a lot more unique.
Yeah,
in regards.
Yeah, because Blade's animations were way cooler. Yeah, I know the budget's so tight.
Yeah, there's nothing they could do.
They
try the best they can, bro. I don't know why you're expecting so much.
They should have just brought Teletubbies to Honkai Star Rail. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's just do some
that-
real stuff, you know.
With the
small
Dragon
game
Ball
gets the
Z
good
voice
clap.
acting, bro. The English Dragon Ball Z voice acting. It just, I went from wanting to pull him must have to skip. I'm skipping him. I really am.
I love
The
his
live
voice,
stream
but
is at home.
the line delivery was really strange. Was it just me? Like the way he was delivering the line was, it felt like it like cut up in like different sections and it stitched together really haphazardly. I was like, what the hell is this line read?
Yeah.
So confused.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it, dude. I think that the fishing minigame looks like it has more content than all of this entire patch from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
The fishing minute was really
Yeah.
good. I'm
I,
thinking about
I
that
think
the
it
entire
actually
time.
got more, bro.
Yeah,
I was fishing
I'm not
before we
seeing
did
much.
this. I'm not gonna lie. Like 4 a.m. I'm like, all right, we're going fishing, boys. Like, fuck it.
So
I gotta stay awake.
I think a good talking point, and Ryuk probably gonna have, he's gonna want to weigh in on this, is them addressing the problems. They just addressed removing some puzzles from the story, and that was pretty much it. No facial expression improvement, no camera angle improvement, no more cutscenes, no skip button. Like it just was like, yeah, guys, we're just gonna remove some of these puzzles.
Yeah,
They
I-
didn't
for
listen.
watching.
Like it really annoyed me when that 3.0 special thing came out and all the videos saying, Steph, listen. I was like, did you guys read what was being said? They didn't listen at all. They're just like, oh, you don't like it? We'll just remove it then. No, that's not what's being said. We didn't say remove it. We said tweak it, fix it, make it better. Don't remove it. Like you literally are not listening. You're like putting a band-aid on something that is people. We want to enjoy this game, but you're not doing it. In terms of the storytelling, we're asking for more camera angles, more facial expressions, more character movement, less black screens, less static images. Have some every now and then. Sure, whatever, fine. But like what you're doing, you're saying, oh, you think it's too long? No, the length is not the issue. The length is fine if you make it good. 10 hours of fantastic storytelling with fantastic story, bring it the fuck on. More, whatever. But this here, the way you're telling this shit, fuck off. No, this is bullshit. And what they're saying is, oh, here's a skip button. It's not a skip button. You can skip certain sections for certain dialogues in certain cases. That's not a skip button. If you miss that because you're like, oh, fuck, click, 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 and, oh, that was the skip button. Fuck, I missed it. Then you're stuck in the dialogue anyway. Fuck me. Just put a skip. There's a skip button in the game already. Like when you're going through a dialogue section and you're fighting a mob at the end and you happen to die for whatever reason, you have to go back and go through the dialogue section again. There's a skip button right there. It's in the top right corner. You have the technology in the game already. Just make it accessible at all times. Is it so fucking hard? You tick a toggle on. There you go. Skip button. Done. Everyone's happy. Let's fucking continue. Jesus Christ.
I was
Holy
talking
shit.
like XQC.
I knew he
dude.
was gonna have a lot to say
Bro.
about it, bro.
I will say this. I think I don't like the changes,
God.
but I think this proves that you have to fucking speak up, because the fact that they addressed this within 30 days of the patch, I think is fucking cool though. The fact like that
was
there
just
was so much negativity, and then like everyone's like, oh, well, it was cool for me. I liked it, so I guess it was fine. And it's like you could have your personal preference, but objectively, that shit was ass.
I really hate when people can't separate their personal preferences from what is actually good on. It's so annoying.
I loved Destiny 2. That game was fucking dog shit. One of the worst games I've ever played, but I played the fuck out of it for like 1,000 hours. It's like, that's why you need to speak up and talk about these things. And so I will give them props. I'll put them over for a little bit for, again, at least addressing it within 30 days as opposed to waiting months and months and months. But yeah, no, the changes are pretty mid though. They're pretty ass.
And that was just my thoughts on the story aspect. Not to mention like what they removed, like the actual gameplay part. Like they removed a lot of the mobs. There was too many? Yeah. Oh, so you want them to remove all of them? No. Too many doesn't remove all of them. Just like reduce them. Instead of having like 4 random mobs that you can just get rid of, like, delete with Akron, make one pretty difficult elite mob instead. In removing all of them, you're just removing less stuff for us to do in the game. In this turn-based action game, we're supposed to play. Like,
Dude, it's
shut up!
it's kind of like they're like a bitter ex-girlfriend. They're like, oh, okay, well then I'll just get rid of it then. I'll just fucking get rid of it then. You don't like it? Okay, I'll just leave.
That's
like,
exactly what
dude.
happens, though. I've seen this with like a lot of Asian games, like gacha games. When the community gets mad at something and they remove something, they just remove all of it. They kill the whole thing rather than a bit of it. This happens like all the time. I think it's just common. Like, oh, you don't like it? Okay, we'll just kill all of it. Okay, fine. Fuck you. Fine. You don't get anything then. That happens all the time, man.
Go ahead, Techie.
I'm going to circle back real quick and then we can continue. I do want to say the other concern that I had about My Day is I feel like his numbers are going to be crazy, and then in a year he's going to be power crept. That's pretty much it.
Next health scaler.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blade 2.
I just wanted to say, actually, fuck me. I lost my train of thought.
That's all right, man. It's all good.
Yeah,
Oh, and also, Castorus is going to embody everybody in this entire fucking expansion.
Yep.
She's going to be beyond broken. Yeah, that's why I think it actually is fine to skip My Day to get Castorus.
Yeah.
I was gonna say on the whole like updates, like the whole like quality of life thing. I think it's a bit of a worrying trend when it comes to like how you're seeing Hoyoverse fix their games. Think about things like ZZZ, where the quality of life is removing a feature from the game, the TVs, and now in Honkai Star Rail, the quality of life over here is just removing parts of the story or parts of the experience from the game. To me, it's
but the
turning
TVs
into
were
like
shit though. Like,
yeah, exactly right. It's turning into the point where like the buffs, the quality of life buffs, are actually just like removing quality of death from the game. Where like it's like all of the features that are like not good, that people aren't enjoying, that they're spending development time to put in the first place. The removal of things from the game is what's making it better. And that's just like, holy shit, what are they doing in the drawing board? Like the brainstorming session? What are they doing when they're actually crafting these features where they're so bad that removing them makes the game better?
Well, we all want a skip button, and that's just removing the story.
Right.
Yeah, I honestly, and I know that's one way to look at it, but I'd rather devs understand when they fucked up and remove it than try to fix something that they just fucking can't. Like for example, Wua, I would rather them just take out the beginning 3 acts because they're so fucking shit. Because they already rewrote it twice and it's still shit. And I wish they would.
It ruins the new player.
It does.
The new player experience is immediately off to a bad start. They should start doing 2.0.
Dude, honestly, yeah. just
delete
start
1.0.
Fuck. But yeah, I mean, hopefully the devs for Honkai Star Rail actually get their shit together. And I can definitely agree that would be worrisome, but I would rather them just remove something than them have another failed attempt at them trying to fix it, because clearly they just fucking can't. But hopefully in the future, what they do is they remove all the shit we didn't like. They remove all the yap from the past. And then in the future, going forward, there's more dynamic camera angles. There's more interesting dialogue, that shit and the other. I'm gonna try to remain positive. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Anybody else have any other thoughts on this?
Oh, just one last quick add-on. Sorry, is I think it's just odd though that it's taking them this long up until the 2.3 update, or is it 3.2 update, to even just remove all these things. I feel like it should have been something that they had ready to go for 3.1 instead of like announcing it when it's like 40 plus days away, like maybe 50, 60 days away. That's when they announced it. It seems like a really long time for something where it's just like they're taking stuff out of the game.
That kind of ties into what I was getting ready to interject with. I genuinely feel like Hoyoverse has seen this happen so many times where they just have to announce any change, even if it's the smallest increment of it. And the community normally just knee jerks, oh, look, guys, this is what we're getting. And they're so used to people just being happy about something that's not really significant. And I feel like that's their plan of attack all the time. Just announce the smallest increment of change and see how they respond. And usually the community goes, oh, see, they're listening. And then they never actually change anything.
Yeah. To piggyback off of that, I do think like the community is just so used to eating slop. Like you said, the second they get the little like shimmer of hope, devs listen, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I think we are seeing, hopefully we continue to see a trend of change. I don't think change will ever happen against an Impact, but these two other games and the future ones, I think will happen.
I'm not sure. I think that Honkai Star Rail might become the next Genshin in some ways, but
I think it's on its way
It
already.
already was for me. It already was for me.
I think a big thing with devs listening and all that kind of stuff is actions always speak louder than words, and companies love to promise all sorts of stuff. They say, we'll do this, we're listening, we're doing these things. But I really don't care if they're not actually going to do it. I usually will judge based on the actual result. It doesn't really matter what they say. Sure, we can acknowledge that they are acknowledging it, and that's great. But until they do something, like, I'm not going to praise them and be like, wow, this is so amazing, they're doing these things, until it actually fixes whatever the problem is.
I think
It's
people
like
are
what
going to be
happened. Sorry,
Rico.
I was just going to say, like with the in Genshin, when they had like the craftable artifact thing, I was like, oh, they're actually giving us that option, like finally. But when it actually came to implementing, it was like you can craft maybe one a month if you're lucky, if you do everything, and you have to have the battle pass as well. Like that is not solving the issue. Like the actual function there is great, but like having it be so tedious, and you can only make one, and even then it's only get like 2 substats, and you've also got the RNG on the rest of it. It doesn't solve anything. And the same thing happened in just all across the board with like Honkai Star Rail as well. Like they're saying that they're going to buff the units. I'll believe it when I see it. Like maybe they do, but like how are they going to buff them? Like everyone's saying, oh, they fixed it. Well, we still don't know yet. How are they going to fix it? They say they're going to address all the story stuff. How are they going to address the story stuff? From what they've told us about how they're going to address the story stuff already, it's not really a fix. We've got hope for the buffs. We're going to see what they're like. But until then, no credit until it drops and we can see what they've done, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I've only seen spoilers of leaks of how they're going to fix these characters.
Whoa.
And,
Some dreams.
Yeah, I've seen some dreams. What I've seen is they're just going to increase raw ratios and make them hit harder. And then for certain characters that have inconsistencies, they're just going to make them consistent. That's pretty much all I've seen so far. Maybe that's all it'll take, but I haven't seen them like give him a new ability, give him a new ult. I haven't seen that. I've just seen damage buffs. Which really concerned me is like, how the fuck, if we buff Blade, how are we going to make him feel better than My Day? How are we going to make him feel like My Day? Because it'll either be the exact same unit or like, I just don't understand how we differentiate it because the characters are the exact fucking same.
That's the one that's not going to get buffed.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he already feels better than my take from what I saw.
I think we just gotta wait and see until the implementation, right? I think I think Hoyoverse is one of the only companies, right, where we see a quality of life update that's supposed to be amazing, like the Genshin artifact selector, and it's so bad on release. They get so much negative feedback that they have to put a quality of life buff for the quality of life buff. Like that might be one of the only companies I've ever seen that requires updates like that. And knowing that track record, I would just be very skeptical of like what they do for the first round of buffs, like what they're actually going to do for the characters, what they're promising, because they're promising a lot, right? And they've already under-delivered multiple times when it comes to the big promises they've made.
That reminds me of that. I'm sorry for interrupt. That reminds me of that fucking that skit where the guy was like, "We put the battle pass inside of the battle pass."
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah. It's like, all right. Wow.
Okay. Wait, here's a question for you guys, though. Let's pretend that they buff a bunch of old units and there's less power creep, and they fix some of the storytelling. Is the game great now? Like, would you be excited for future patches, though? Because my question is, like, yeah, they're promising these things, and it would be great for the game, but does that make the game exciting again? Because 3.0 had, like, so little hype around it, and people didn't even know that some of these issues would be apparent, such as the storytelling.
For me, honestly, yeah, I actually would be excited. Yeah, I mean, I really don't think HSR is that far gone, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really need that much. Just cut down on the dialogue, make the characters feel better, have a longer depth of roster, and have it less be like figure out what team you're going to build versus how do I tackle this boss? If we get it back to how I can tackle this better than how do I make this team optimal, then I'm super down for that shit. I still like the game quite a bit. I have a lot of hope for it, just for me.
I just think it just needs like actual core feature. I almost feel like more than just like buffs. Like if they just added like a new feature to the combat, I think that would go farther than almost anything else.
Oh, absolutely. No, I 100% agree as well. But yeah, those are the tweaks I want for now. What's up, Saint Todas?
I was gonna say I think if you pulled most of the players that quit, like maybe after like 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and then maybe like quit in like 3.0, like just basically quit across the last 10 months, I feel like a majority of the reasons would be the dialogue bloat in the story, things like taking too long to do. I literally have like an example on my end of just trying to get Harmony Trailblazers E6. It's like stuff like that just feels like a slug. Yeah, it feels like a chore. It feels like a job at that point to do that shit. And like that plus the power creep, all of your characters from like less than a year ago becoming useless, those have to be some of the biggest reasons for people quitting. And I think that's why that's the stuff being directly addressed by the devs. And I do genuinely believe if those things are actually fixed, they're catching it somewhat early on, then a lot of people will come back to the game. I probably would too. But right now, it's just like, it feels like you're either in a permanent state of catch-up, or it's just like you literally are spending hours on things you don't want to do when you play the game.
No, bro, they don't have to, because the Fate collab, when that rolls around, everyone's going to come back anyways. They don't have to do shit until that. So that's their moment when they got the big comeback. So they can stall until then. I'm not even kidding, bro. That collab is huge.
They were just griefing knowing that they had that in the back pocket.
I mean, they can do anything, man.
For that collab, all I expect is just skins. That's all.
It's just going to be characters and story. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I really want to play the game, but I just feel like to me, I'm just kind of, there's just too much shit to like you said, it does feel like a job. I have a job already.
As someone that has 2,000 days login days, 2,000 login days on Fate Grand Order, I don't care about that collab. I'm sorry. It's like, dude, it's actually decent. If it's just skins, I'm good.
It's like side game, like gameplay, but then like main game commitment to play HSR. it's kind of weird.
It's not that bad. I don't know. I think all gachas are secondary jobs, though.
That's
think,
what
like,
I was getting
basically
ready to
every
say.
gacha.
I
Yeah.
view it as these gacha games. Think of in a 24-hour period, you eat, let's say, 4 meals a day, and 3 of the meals that you're eating a day, not only are they easy to eat, they're easy to digest. I would say that HSR is that 4th meal that's difficult to eat and it's hard to digest as well right now. And if they were to fix the methodical approach to storytelling and give a better visual experience, a better presentation, it would be easier to digest and better to eat as well. I view all these gacha games, the reason, and I feel like Tech might have been going into this direction as well, it would fix the problems for me because I'd be able to eat my meal and move on to my next meal, which would be Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero. But because the fucking meal is difficult to eat, and it's like fucking up the whole course of the day. If that reference makes sense.
Yeah, you're stuck on it.
My big issue
I
is
use
that
the exact analogy.
it feels like Honkai Star Rail just doesn't fucking understand anything about storytelling. And I really think things went downhill after Bellabog. I really fucking do. They brought in this Shao Ji motherfucker.
The beginning.
Bro,
That guy needs to leave.
He's just
That guy needs to leave.
bad. Like, good
No.
lord. Like, dude, my chat was booing when he came on screen. Because he is the guy who obliterated the story. They're like, oh, he's from Honkai Impact. He's so good. No, the guy sucks.
I'm going to be honest
out.
with you. Everyone praises Honkai Impact 3rd. After Himiko, I don't care about quantum physics. That game has 400 hours of fucking dialogue. Get that shit the fuck out of here. Stop pretending it's the pinnacle of storytelling. That is a visual novel with some fucking Gen 1 gacha gameplay. That bro cooked one good story. I'm sorry. It's just
Bro,
it's not it.
that community's like a Cowboys fan, bro. I'm telling you,
It's
bro.
bro. It's fucking crazy. Like, Ethan, did you do chapter 25? It's 13 hours of quantum physics about 3 black holes. It's like, no, bro, what the fuck? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I think Xiaoji's storytelling is exceptional when you have the skip button in the game. Like,
Absolutely. 100%.
No, it's exceptional when Himiko dies, bro. Just kill Himiko. It'll change everything.
Dude,
That's
what I
they
don't
need
get
to
is
do.
they honestly need to do that. Like, Dan Hong no longer needs to be in the story. Dan Hong should have stayed in Janzhou Luofu. He finished his story. He became Dan Hong ill. Why is he still here? He's done.
Yeah.
Like, March makes sense. We still don't know what's she about, right? But they're bringing on these characters that their journeys are done. So let them die or get them the fuck out of the story. We don't need them.
Don't you want to see him in base form the entire time
Fuck
afterwards?
no.
After you get to see his cool one?
It's
Yeah,
so
all you
dumb.
see is his base form for the rest of the
It's
game.
so dumb. It's so dumb. Like, well, maybe he has a new Dan Hong form. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like,
no, that's what's gonna happen.
this is Super Saiyan level 2. Like,
Yep.
all right. Like,
And this is Super Saiyan 2.
wait,
Sounds
Chad,
like
So
your
I
boogaloo.
don't-
there's
I don't
no
think the
way
writing
that's
is the
real,
biggest
right?
problem.
Surely y'all are joking. There's no
Well,
way that's real.
I hope they are joking, man.
I don't think the writer is the biggest problem with Honkai Star Rail. It's not the writer. Like, the
Cameraman.
writer, of course, they're like
No, it's the
messing up
writer.
every now. No, the writer's definitely got something to do it, but I don't think they're the biggest problem. The problem is the director. The director is supposed to take what the writer gives them and like implement it into the story and say, okay, we've got this story here. Okay, this is how we like implement this gameplay aspects into this game. The director is supposed to look at that story and say, okay, this is what's happening here. Put a fight here, put a boss there, put a puzzle there. They're supposed to look at that and implement, interweave as best as they can, gameplay aspects into the story. The story is the writer. The gameplay aspect is for the game devs, and the director is supposed to interweave them correctly. I don't know who they've got directing it, but they're doing nothing. The writer, they're making some stumbles, but they're not the biggest problem. It's the director, and it's their problem. Whatever they're doing, they're just thinking, oh, you got the story? Cool. Copy paste into there, just put some idle animations. Let's go. They're not doing their fucking job. They're being lazy. That is the problem. That's my opinion anyway.
Someone in
Ryuku.
Smack's chat. Oh, yeah, I just want to say someone in Smack's chat said this previously. I think Smack said himself, the cameraman just put down the camera and left. That's what it is. That's been the funniest quote of the new year that I've seen. Like that's just what it is.
Well, Ryuku, how can you explain though that a single Japanese dude in his basement can somehow write a manga every single week and have like a damn good story with week waits between each of those, and people are hype as fuck every single time? But in HSR, people are just like, oh man, this fucking sucks. Like, why can $1 billion company somehow not get that right? But like some dude making like $15,000 a year in his basement is able to write a story by himself that's better than like some famous guy named Xiaoji.
Skill issue.
Okay, so
what's up with that?
on that again, there is a skill issue, but I think there is a difference in like medium there, where like with a manga there, it's a visual and story purely story-based medium in manga, whereas this one we're playing a game. This is a game. We're not playing this game for story. Story is a big part of this story-based game, story-driven game. I completely agree with that, but it's like at the end of the day, we're playing a game. If you don't like give us game stuff to do in the game, you're not a game like at all. That's the problem. If you make whatever this is just fun, you can have the shittest story. I've used this example before. Like Dumb and Dumber has the shittest story in the fucking world, but the way they present the story is really, really good. It's really fun, really interesting. You don't have to have great story. You just have to present it and make it interesting while you go across.
Vice versa, by the way. Vice versa. Because, like, legit, if the story was good, the storytelling does not matter. Because Limbus Company, best gacha story I've ever fucking seen. It's not even fucking close. And their storytelling is PNG 1, PNG 2, every 45 minutes, one PNG image. And it's like, holy fuck. They turned her into an
Path
apple.
to Nowhere.
Wait, but
Path to Nowhere is also fantastic for the Path to Nowhere. You guys need to check out Path to Nowhere as well. The art and storytelling, the music is so good. But continue, sorry.
I'm going to try out Limbus this week, but I do think one advantage that Limbus has is like they set the expectations of it's just PNGs though. So like I agree with you, but I feel like with Honkai Star Rail, it's like they've just had a mix of so many different things and they don't have a good balance of it. So it just makes it 20 times worse. Because like you said, the PNGs isn't a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
Well, Ethan, you know a big part of that is because in Honkai Star Rail, they don't explain what's going on because they just have a camera looking at the character standing there. But in Limbus, it has to be like, then the character stood up and they wiped the blood off their coat and they did this, right? Like, so you actually see that. In Honkai Star Rail, it's just like, the dialogue would be, if there wasn't pictures, it would say, and then Maide crossed his arms. And then he put his hand up in the air. And then he like shrugged. It's like, they don't do anything with that, right? So the storytelling makes no sense at all, basically.
No, I agree.
What's really, and I hate to break this is breaking news that just dropped. Mr. Pokey, known Hoyo Shill, said that 3.1 was ass.
Good for him.
Yep.
Dog, hold on, bro. That changes everything.
Gamers, Dashman here. This changes. I know.
Yeah.
But on that thing, I think it does depend on expectations. Like with games such as Limbus Company and Path to Nowhere, you go in there and you know what you're going to get. You know you're going to get like also Arknights as well. You're going to get PNGs and that kind of storytelling. But when you've got a game such as say Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, ZZ, and where you do see them, the characters move, and you know they set up the expectation of this is how they're going to tell the story, and then they just forego that for like black screen, white text, or just whatever. It's like, why? Like you go to this thing for one thing, you're being given something else. That if I go to a steakhouse and I get served a salad, that's not why I came here. It's a salad with a bit of steak on there. No, give me a ribeye, please. Like just give me what I came here for.
Yeah. It's just crazy how Mr. Pokey said that 3.0 was an 11 out of 10, and now he's saying that 3.1 is shit. So I guess maybe he made enough money to retire, and now he can finally start being honest. So big congrats to him. Hopefully he enjoys retiring in his yacht. Besides all this, we get it. Storytelling is bad. We've beat this dead horse for fucking 2 years at this point. The new zones. Anybody like them? Personally, I think the new zones are beautiful. Yep.
Yeah. They look great. Yep. Look great.
Yeah, the fucking giant Deku tree in the middle of Leaf Village, that looked fucking amazing. Really good. Favorite part of the patch? Super Auto Pets, the event. Personally, I thought that shit was
Oh no!
What's wrong, Ryuku? What's going on, man? Go ahead.
They are adorable. Don't get me wrong, but it's literally you set them up and it's AFK. It's a game. It's a mini game where you don't play the mini game.
Yeah, so it's Honkai Star Rail
though.
I feel that.
Well, it plays in Honkai Star Rail.
I'm a sucker for those little, like, I'll be honest, bro. That shit reminds me of my childhood when I had the little pocket shit you had to feed it. I can't remember.
Tamagotchi.
When I saw them, I was like, I want one. I want one of these as a pet. They look so cute, but like the gameplay aspect, there's no gameplay. You like line up.
Well,
off you go, and then I'll come back in a week.
I wasn't even listening to the gameplay aspect. Go ahead, Tech.
You can get one of those in games. There's you can go buy one of the pets from a little shopkeep on a dinosaur.
That's dope.
It's in the game right now, actually. Didn't know about that. Super hidden feature. So yeah, you can go get one, which is very cool. I thought it looked cute. It made me happy because I haven't been excited about an event in Honkai Star in a while, but a lot of these devs are stepping up their events so far with the Zenless Zone Zero, Bang Boo, Fall Guys, as well as the fishing game and Wuthering Waves. So I like Super Auto Pets, so I was excited for the event. We'll see how everybody else feels about it.
That's fair.
It looked better than a normal event, which is usually just like, well, it's the same game, but now the combat's a little bit different. Which, by the way, oh no, I don't want to skip ahead yet because I want to talk about Whimpering Waste because I'm so angry at that mode.
Okay.
Let's leave it at this. We've talked about this game for 35 minutes. Any other thing about Honkai Star Rail 3.1 we haven't talked about that you guys want to talk about?
The new boss, which I think is this is a theory. I think Finan's dark side is going to enter him eventually, and he's going to remember everything and remember he's a fucking evil villain. But I just thought that boss looked cool. That's all I want to say.
Oh, he looks sick.
I
I thought it was Sampo.
Cool.
Sampo, oh, shit.
Yeah,
Maybe
like,
it's Sampo.
Oh, Sampo. Okay, cool. Hell yeah. No, I thought he looked cool as shit. Yeah, he looks like he kind of looks like Capitano of Honkai Star Rail.
Oh shit, good point.
Yeah, no, I thought he looked dope as fuck. The animation were crazy when he alts and it does like the like five different
Yeah, I like the fact that he could ult you. It feels like you're actually 1v1 it like a PvP match, low key.
He had a crescent moon shit too.
Yeah, Chad, what'd y'all think of the boss? You think it looked cool? You think it looked like shit? But yeah, I guess that's anybody else?
I thought the design was pretty cool.
Okay.
Pretty much
the only thing I think we've missed is like just maybe like a quality of life thing. Like the synthesis got a bit of an upgrade, and also the character planning as well. Like you could set like a planner for like characters that haven't come out yet. I mean that's good instead of like looking online.
It's like, all right.
I think it's good, but it's like that's like as far as it went really. But it was nice.
Yeah, no, it's whatever. It's not really gonna change my quality of life whatsoever. But yeah, let's get into 2.1 Wuthering Waves.
EOS.
Yeah,
it was rough, man. It was rough.
I've already uninstalled.
All right, I am gonna start this off with Saint Tontas. Saint Tontas, give us your opinion on Wuthering Waves right now, and I'm gonna listen on my phone, but I will be right back while you yap about 2.1.
Okay. Please. So I would say I haven't really played that much of the patch aside from things like the end game, and I've just been doing like a lot of like Phoebe testing and stuff over the past couple of days. So I can't really give an opinion on the fishing event. I can't really give an opinion on the like Gringotts mine thing. But overall, I would say it looks pretty good to me. Phoebe's fun to play. Phoebe's fun to use. I have a bit of a problem with the Hikari hologram. I think it's one of the buggiest fights they have in the game. While I was doing my clears yesterday, I had like a bunch of just like random like animation locks. There was like one time I was stuck in an echo transformation inside of like her grinding gears. I was on the impermanence heron, and then like I'm just like sitting on the ground taking damage, and like I can't move like in the bird form. And I was just
There's also like camera problems too. Like if you do a switch, you know where you got to dodge the blades thing, where on just between the second phase. Yeah. If you like switch characters between them, it like changes the camera and you can't see from top, and so you like completely misjudge when you're supposed to dodge and such. It like completely
because it unlocks the camera.
Yeah. It's I think that fight is there's something wrong with that fight. There's too much like off-screen attacks. It's like
it's a memorization fight rather than a reaction fight. You literally just memorize every single one of its attacks and go, oh, it's going to do this thing, and I have to dodge 1 second after this, then I have to dodge 1 second after that. It is 2 moves where you literally, no human could react. It is literally impossible to dodge certain attacks unless you have already seen it and died to it. It is literally impossible.
That's true. And there's so much visual clutter in the fight
it's hard.
It can be extremely hard to see your cues,
especially
if you're playing a character like Phoebe,
who
has like her own like fucking like light storm that she like summons.
You can't see shit.
I just had times where I just die to the lasers because I actually cannot see them with her E up.
You need to.
Now you got to remember it's always the lasers, bro. You just remember and you're like, oh, okay, I don't need to see it. And
it's like, and the thing I hate the worst about it is that it's one of those fights that you said Genocide is memory based, and so much bullshit happens in the second phase with like when you like the fucking camera angle changes, she goes up there and then the blades are like behind you and stuff, and they one shot you if you don't dodge in time. It's just there's so much stuff like backloaded that are like hidden mechanic one shot kills. It's just frustrating to die to that because you just didn't know it was there and you can't react dodge it. And then like you have to like, and you only get that like once you get over there again, right? And then you have all the one shots earlier on. So it's like one of those memorization fights where it can be a pain in the ass to get back to the spot where you died before, and then you might just die again.
I would like to say to the people in chat who are saying this is a skill issue, that fight is easy. I want to remind everybody, I beat that fight on my 3rd try. Okay, we're not saying that it's a hard fight. We're saying that there's bullshit parts in it, which is very important to differentiate.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
was
like
gonna say-
Fob and I both were going for like Phoebe solo on the boss, so we've fought it for like hours, right?
Yeah.
Fob was watching my stream and it used a move neither of us had ever seen before with combined like 10 hours or some shit of just fighting that boss, and used a move and we're like, what the fuck is that? And it instantly killed me, and I was like, we've never seen that move before. Like, it's just making new moves.
Yeah,
Like,
yep. It has what if you go too far away in the second phase, it will like it will send like these blades, and if one touches you, you instantly die. And there's like 3 of them that are going out in like semicircle patterns.
Okay,
I will say
I need to address every one guy, because this is the shit where like I know I'm right about this, and chat needs to stop being retarded. This is the very few people in chat who are one guying me here right now. Okay, it doesn't matter if you had fun. It does not matter. Okay, and that's not the fun of it. Nobody thinks, oh wow, I randomly blew up at this time interval. That was a blast. The premise of good game design is put an obstacle in front of your players that they can overcome with patience and skill. Right? Nobody has fun saying, oh, and I fucking died out of nowhere. It's like having a heart attack. It's not fun. It doesn't feel good. You can't react. There was no skill issue. There's nothing for you to overcome other than at this point you get instantly fucked. What did you learn? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I just blow up here. There's no animation.
What you learned is you need to run Carlotta to freeze that motherfucker, because I got that shit my second try with Carlotta. But everyone else, I was like, this shit's annoying.
Yeah.
Like it's like, fuck me.
Yeah, it's a Carlotta check in that if you have her built and you run Carlotta, it's basically one of the easiest fights in the game. You
Hey,
you
man,
don't
don't take away my credibility there, buddy. Okay.
But once again, it's very important for people to try to understand. It is not about how hard it is. It is not a difficulty thing. There is no, oh, I got outplayed, so I'm mad. No, everybody in this call beat it. We beat it very easily. It's the premise of this is a poorly designed fight. These mechanics are not good. Take the same mechanics and put them in front of the player so we can see them, and it's an amazing fight. Off-screen one-shots make no sense. They're not good designed.
Wait, I think a perfect example of this is the event that just passed. We literally fought this fucking boss, and it was one of the most fun events I've played, and it was a really good boss fight, right? It's like literally it was not a buggy piece of shit. And I even soloed it, and I was like, holy fuck, like this is sick. So when I got to this hologram, I'm like, oh, this is fucking ass. Like, it's just not fun. For me, at least.
I think you guys, perfect unison, coherence is there, the logic is there. That said, that fight was fucking awesome for me, bro. I loved it. I literally loved it. But I think what y'all are saying makes perfect sense, and I do understand the difference and nuances between memorization versus being able to like methodically give a fight to you to where you're able to visually see the differences and avoid them and anticipate them. But that shit was awesome, bro. I mean, when I get into
visually, it looks amazing.
Yeah, when I set myself up for, I don't know, a Souls experience, a Monster Hunter experience, or I guess in this case, the Wuthering Waves experience, I'm expecting to die a couple times. I'm expecting to deal with bullshit. And so it doesn't really affect me. But to be honest, I never heard somebody pitch it the way Tectone pitched it. I think he's absolutely correct. You should always be able to beat something on the first try because the boss fight provides you with enough insight to actually one-try it.
Yeah, I like when I die and I'm like, oh shit, I should have done this.
That was me. Yeah,
I suck.
Yeah, that's good. That's a strong point, honestly. It actually, I think you enhanced my viewpoint on boss fights. Like going forward.
It's like an example of a perfect boss fight in all of video. My favorite boss fight of all time is in Bloodborne. There's a DLC boss called Orphan of Kaz. And if you are paying attention, everything he does, you see his arm twitch. Oh, he's going for that swing.
Yep.
Dodge that jump attack. Okay. Roll that when he lands. Lightning's coming down because it's storming now. All right. Avoid those. Everything is in front of you. And if you're locked in, you can dodge every single mechanic because all the information is in front of you. And it's considered one of the hardest fights in all of gaming. But because all of the information is in front of you, I beat it in one attempt, is what it is at half HP. Great fucking fight. And it feels nice when the
bosses. That is impressive, though.
Yeah, the bosses where they.
That's the only reason he likes it.
Well, it's a big factor. It's a big factor. I love it. It's great.
That is something to brag about, to be fair. That boss beat my ass.
Well, Smack, that's why you like Monster Hunter so much. It's because when you see a monster attacking, you see it moving.
Yes.
It's not like the monster just sits there and then you go and you just
Yeah.
explode.
Yeah,
right?
it just
Yeah.
randomly
Foreshadowing.
throws
I'm
out 3
trying to
blazes
think,
that one shot
is
you.
there a single Monster Hunter in all of Monster Hunter Wilds where it just kills you with an off-screen mechanic? I can't think of a single one.
No. It's
No,
all
never.
foreshadowed. You're like, that's why I said, that's why you literally just taught me right now why I
Yeah.
love Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
You're able to see everything.
Yeah, like even for a monster that you've never even fought before, the way they move makes sense to where you're like, oh, he's gonna fucking do something with that shoulder. Oh, he's shaking. Those bombs are dropping. They're gonna explode like
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
basil goose.
Yeah.
Well, the issue is this is an
Good point,
anime
man.
fight. This is not a real fight. It's like, oh, it spawns a thing that appears there that shoots something at you, right? Like it's not like any sort of realistic fight. And I agree with Smack. I actually had fun. I mean, I've probably fought the boss for longer than all of you guys added up with how long it took to solo that thing with Phoebe. And I learned the boss and I had fun, but I 100% agree. It's just poorly designed. You shouldn't have attacks that realistically you would never be able to deal with on the first try. Like you can't intuitively go, oh, this is going to happen. You're just standing there and then a saw blade from behind you
Fucking
just
Draven
goes
ult.
through you and one shots you and you go, okay, well, how would I ever have known that?
Well, okay, so
Yeah, I think it's just
You have to die to it to beat it. Like you have to die
Yeah.
multiple
Or you get
times
lucky,
with
you
this
just
boss.
dodge spam and you're like, oh.
I need to do another extreme example because I'm getting one guide again. So this guy called Kinben22 says, in animes, you don't see stuff. Okay. So I want you, let's go to extremes. Let's go to extremes. Guys,
This is a game, guys.
if
This is a
you
game.
enjoy off-screen mechanics so much, here's what they should do. I bet you'll love this fight. Let's just make the boss invisible. Yep. Let's have no sound cues. And then randomly every 0.13 seconds, a punch is going to hit you. It's going to come at you. Now, you're not going to see it.
Hikari actually does that. She does go invisible.
Great.
Oh, look,
You know?
perfect.
She goes invisible and has a one-shot attack in the second phase.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
That's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good. Doesn't that
Do you
sound
think-
so fun? Let's just make every fight invisible, no sound cues, and you can just guess the dodges. It'll be so cool, man. So sick.
Yeah,
That reminds me of fucking
dog shit
Chameleos
take.
and Rise, actually. That douchebag goes invisible.
Do you think this is done just like intentionally though, just for like artificial difficulty, so people can keep playing it though? Not trying to be like, oh my god, they're trying to get their playtime up, but just like to make it kind of feel like more hard than it
I
really
just
actually
think,
is.
I just think they goofed on one or two mechanics. I've never been let down by a
Yeah.
Wuthering Waves fight before, and even still, that fight was good.
Yeah,
but it
it's
just had some
fun.
mechanics that I'm just like, oh god, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's just get.
You guys
I
all
think-
killed it.
Yeah, we
It
all
wasn't
did.
too bullshit that it was
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you can't clear this. It's a frustration that takes
Yeah.
away from the fight
Yeah,
when it could
I
have been.
think
There was
at the end of it, though, like just because we overcame the bad mechanic doesn't make it not a bad mechanic. And I think that's something that people just can't understand. It is bad. Just because we cut past it doesn't mean it's okay. It is still an issue that needs to be sorted.
I'm
the
trying to
fight
think of-
actually has like some really good phases. Like I love the one where she does like the where she's like diving in and is parryable the entire time. And if you get like
That shit's-
if you get like 2 out of
yeah.
3 of them, you like knock her down.
Full
It's
stun,
like
yeah.
those are parts of the fight that are like amazing. There are great ones to it, and it's like you feel like you can play your character well. But like when she does those attacks where she just like it's not parryable, it's like it's a super fast one shot, and then the lasers come afterward. It's like okay, you literally can do a dodge counter, and like that's it. Otherwise, like you will die during your attack animation if you try to follow up. It's like stuff like that where it's just like okay, this is it kind of just feels like a time waste in the fight.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
another
the
one of-
timer is usually not the issue, though. I will say, but
one of my big pet peeves with like mechanics are ones that aren't choreographed properly. Hit delay. Hit delay is another horrible thing I do not like, where they go like this. It's like nobody
so you
does
hate
that.
every
I hate
Souls
that.
game. So you hate
It's-
Souls
Dude,
games.
okay, like, there's a lot of fights in
Market.
Souls where I'm just like, all right, dude, come on. So
Well, because
dumb.
everyone got too
Fucking do
good
it.
from games like Dark Souls 1 where it's honest. They're like, okay, we need a guy who goes like this, and then he goes like this, and then does that, and he'll
It's
roll
so
catch you every
bad.
time.
It's
Yep.
so bad.
But then he has an
so
alternate
bad.
where he goes like this, and he just does a full swing to fool you into thinking it's the other one.
Yep. Oh my god.
I think that's okay if the attacks don't one shot you, but the fact that like that's in the hologram fights with like the delayed attacks, right, and then they can one shot you as well. That's kind of just like okay.
It's like
Alright.
fuck.
Yeah,
Getting
and then-
hit and then healing up, cool, but like just getting one shot for one of those is a little bit annoying.
Yeah, and then my last thing of bad game design that I really don't like in video games is where you have to stop hitting the boss and watch it do its move that makes it untouchable until it's over. Those mechanics.
You don't like the
also-
freeze time thing?
No, not that one. This one isn't in the
Oh.
hologram. This is just in
Oh,
games
okay.
in general. It's kind of like Millennium Blade of Mikola, where she does the river water dance, I believe it's called, and she goes like
Waterfowl.
Yeah, waterfowl.
Waterfall, yeah.
Like you can dodge that. It's really cool. And sometimes you have a really quick weapon you can chip in there. But I like being able to stay on the boss the whole fucking time. And if I'm dodging appropriately, I can dodge attack, dodge attack, dodge attack.
Yeah.
I don't like when I have to walk back, let them do their move. Okay, it's over. Get back in. I just like being able to stay on them. But that's a gripe. That's my personal preference. Never been a fan of those. But yeah, hologram fight. I think we're all done talking about that. Let's talk about Whimpering Waste next.
I feel like a lot of people
shit.
hate it, man. And I'm not gonna.
It's not
I
good.
understand the criticism for it. I think it has a good foundation that can get better with time.
Absolutely.
But I will say, in my chat brought this up because the first night I played it, I was having fun, but I was also using a cracked account. I really was. Like I got SS on the last stage and everything, but I am kind of a little over this whole thing where it's like just the timer. Like I don't know why, like in Depths of Elusive Realm, they really have this thing, like in the last boss, where you can still fight after the timer goes out, but now you're gonna get one shot. So it adds a level of anxiety
And
or
then
like
rage.
yeah, it's an arrange
enjoy that.
mechanic, and it's like, okay, in this Whimpering Waste, it feels like nothing is really at stake. It's like, yeah, I didn't get enough points, but I don't feel in danger at any point during this at all. You know?
Yeah. Janice, I know you have a lot of opinions on this. Before I start ranting, do you want to talk about your opinion on Whipping West?
I think it's an insanely lazy game mode. I think it's a huge letdown. They call new end game. When I hear new end game, I'm like excited. It could be really cool. It's something that every 2 weeks you spend 20 minutes on. I think a child could have come up with it because they just look at Tower Adversity and say, what if there were more bad guys? And that's essentially what it is. Realistically, it's just pincer movement. They just added pincer movement into the game, which was something that I already see people constantly complain about because they didn't really enjoy it that much. But like, just disappointing that is the new end game. Like that is the other big thing with Tower Adversity, which I'm not really a fan of either because it's the same thing. It's just the timer. You're not fighting the enemies. You're fighting the timers. And I made a whole video about this, and bro, you wouldn't believe the amount of comments that just say, just learn better rotations. Bro, I beat the mode. The issue
That sounds like something
isn't
this
that
guy
I
would
don't do
say.
rotations. The issues is that it's fucking trash. It's not fun. It's a shitty mode that requires almost no thought. The enemies are just punching bags. You might as well just have a rock there and you have 20 minutes to do as much damage as possible. It's actually ridiculous that with such good combat and mechanics and boss design in the game that they would resort to just trash mobs. And that's the whole mode.
I got a
Yeah,
25-minute video shitting on that mode coming out in about an hour or so, which I'm very excited about.
Perfect.
I will add real quick. I will say it feels like a really fun event. It does not feel like an endgame mode. That's the other thing I just want to throw out there. It does not feel like it was.
Victoria's better though.
All right. Well, listen. I also don't like the fact that it takes away one tower reset, which I guess we'll get to eventually. But I think that's just fucking dog shit. That I think is a very big Hoyoverse move that I really don't like.
I sat down for 3.5 hours contemplating about how much I hated that mode in my bed, and then I had to get out of bed to record a video and upload it. So I'm going to give a sneak peek on why this mode is so shit. But I know, St. Tonas, I know you liked it. So I want to know, what is your opinion on Whimpering Waste?
So I think that Whimpering Waste is, I personally don't view it as like a carbon copy of like the Tower of Adversity, just with like more mobs. I kind of actually like the structure where it's almost like I think it's like the pinnacle of like a DPS and like a DPS gear and rotation check in the game. For example, like in the TOA, it's like, okay, like you got your timer down from like, you have 2 minutes to clear in the TOA. Now you got it down to like 1:45. That's kind of like the measure there. But in Whimpering Waste, it's like literally how many waves of enemies are you killing in the span of time? And so I kind of view it almost as like a bit of like a different measure where, it doesn't matter how, like, and I think the nice part about it is that you can have one side, it's almost like a bit like HSR, right? Or Genshin, you can have one side carry the other in the clear. And so if you have like one actually hyper invested team that's maybe focused on AoE, like a Camellia or Gion team, you can actually like do pretty fucking awful on the other side and then still get the full rewards. And so I think like from that design perspective, it's not the worst thing ever from like you can't like share weapons across the clear, but it's definitely a different vibe. And I think like the whole like thing with the trinkets or the tokens that they have set up is actually really, really good. Some of the trinkets or some of the tokens are really creative. Like there's one where if you use a resonance skill, you get the cooldown refunded on your liberation, and it's like a purple one. It's not even like a gold one.
Yeah.
And so there are like a lot of really interesting team comps or characters that you can use. Like think about Chang Li with 2 of her resonant skills. Her liberation almost has like no cooldown in that mode. And so like you're allowed to play certain characters in like a hyper carry setup, or you're allowed to play characters differently depending on what those tokens are. And like play them in completely new ways too. So I think the tokens are definitely like one of the best adds from that perspective. And unfortunately, I think it's just like the scoring needs to be loosened up a little bit on the mode. Maybe like have like more points, because I think a lot of people are having difficulties. And they probably should have released Rosia alongside this mode, so that because there are characters right that are undeniably like tier 0 best characters in the game for Whimpering Wastes.
Wait, hold up. But
and
then people
they're-
have to pull a character for that mode.
No,
So,
they-
well,
they-
no, but you're saying they should have released Rocha for that mode, like at the same time. But then you're encouraging people spending money to clear that mode, though. Isn't that kind of a negative? If
Well, I
anything?
mean,
You make a mode
right,
to then make them spend money.
well, right now the mode is easier if you had spent money on Rosia. So it's kind of like
Yeah, I guess, but
A lot
I
of
feel like
people
that's not
wish-
good to encourage it.
a lot of people wish they had Rosia on banner right now so they could pull her for the mode.
Hmm.
Too.
I see this. I'm kind of like in between everyone here because it's like I definitely see where people are getting frustrated with, but I also see like it's a different mode entirely. I see it very similar to like the Honkai Star Rail modes as well. Like where you got some endgame modes where you mainly focus on one particular boss and you try and get as much DPS on there. Whereas you got another endgame mode where you got to clear many waves as possible where AOE characters shine there. So like depending on the endgame mode, you want more AOE characters, you want more hyper carry characters. I think this is just another one where it's saying you need to like build up more AOE characters. They trying to say don't focus on the single target hyper carry characters there. I think that's the point of why they implemented this game mode.
So I
There's
want
no
but I can
question
definitely understand why.
that's why. There's no question. They have 100% looked at what Hoyo
Pure
Versus is
fiction.
doing, and they said, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we're
Exactly.
gonna follow that
Exactly.
same protocol with
It's
our
a
own
it's a Hoyoverse
kudo
mode.
twist."
Well, okay, so I want to give one more perspective because the problem is I don't understand how you, Saint Totas, have an issue or don't have an issue with Wuthering Waves selling Rochia to do Whimpering Waste, but you have the same issue with Honkai Star Rail where you say, well, now they're just making new characters to solve the new modes that they're putting out. And it's kind of like selling a solution to the problems that they're manufacturing.
Well, this is my viewpoint on it. I don't think Rosia is required at all to get like clearable points or to get like really, really good results in the end.
Well, they
game
aren't
mode.
in HSR either sometimes. You often don't need the newest unit to be able to clear it. It's the same case. You don't need Rocha. You don't need, I don't know, Casterus whenever the new Pure Fiction or whatever thing comes out. You can use other characters. You could use Firefly and probably clear it. You don't need it. But it's still encouraging. Oh, look, this thing is weak to Havoc, and guess what? You need AOE, so we're releasing Rocha with this new game.
AOE Havoc! What a coincidence!
Yeah, I feel like
and that's the thing, right? They've made that a thing since the start of the game. You always have the middle tower buff that's tailored for the new unit. And I kind of just view it as like that's kind of like
used to
that's the thing.
actually be for anybody though, and then they
No,
changed it.
I'm
to...
talking about the literal buff on the stage, not about the general attribute damage bonus. Like they have a literal buff on the stage, right, in the middle tower that's always used for the on-banner character.
I do think it's a little,
but it's still
Yeah.
clearable without them.
but I do think it's a little different in this instance though, because like Tower was the only one game mode, and now there's a second game mode where you get a much bigger advantage of getting AOE. So like I love Korra, but also at the same time, like this is a move directly ripped out of Hoyo in every sense. It's a ghetto pure fiction, and it resets once a month. They change TOA. And it's like sometimes the AoE doesn't even work. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like sometimes these motherfuckers just go on the completely opposite side of the map, and the stage is just too big. And I'm like, Gion's not catching this motherfucker. My Camilla's not catching it. I'm just like, fuck me.
They
I think
spawn and they all just go.
Yeah, like
the
I
wolves,
want to
they
make
all
it
jump
clear.
back.
I had fun with it. I think it's a fun event. I don't think this is an endgame mode, and I just feel like it really does kind of come off like we just want to sell more AoE. Like I would not be surprised if we get way more AoE characters now.
I want
The way that I view it is that it's one of the most replayable modes because of the tokens. Because of the tokens, 1000%. They have so many in the game, and some of them suck dick, like the Spectral Frazzle one. And I think this is the biggest miss of all with the game mode. Phoebe is fucking awful in it. Phoebe is one of the worst characters I have ever seen in that game mode, and it makes almost no sense that she's on banner and she's this bad.
Bro,
Like,
they made a whole wave of spectral rocks. And I brought Phoebe in there and I was like, bro, I just got 100 points. Like, what is this shit? I can't kill a single fucking rock with this bitch. Like,
she is, her performance in the mode is so ridiculously bad, it doesn't actually make sense.
I mean, I cleared with her, so it's probably just a skill issue. But
I saw you fight those rocks, bro. You were like, why do I do no damage to these things?
I do want to say, I think fundamentally that Wuthering Waves is a absolute fumble in every single regard, and I wanted to break down why that is. So the number one issue, and I want to go down the list here, is the enemies aren't coded to attack you. It feels more like there's target dummies, and like Genocide said, you're fighting in time or you're not fighting enemies. They walk away from you, and it feels like you're having to like kind of scoop them together to make sure that you can AoE them down. I think this could be fixed if the enemies were more coded to be more aggro and get in your fucking face rather than walk away, walk away, It's really fucking bad.
But you know what people argue? They say, but gathering them is a skill. Dude, what if they made an enemy that all he did was run away from you?
It would be so good.
And it's an infinite space. Dude, it's a skill to chase him and catch him. And nobody wants to do that, bro.
They
It's not fun.
They got the turtles.
The turtle does it.
The arrow monkeys, they're always like
The rocket launcher guy, that tall fuck.
You just stay still.
Yeah.
That tall fucking guy with the rocket launcher spawns, he just runs. And you chase him and he just keeps running in Tower Diversity, that fucker.
I want Tech to keep cooking because that first point was a really fucking strong one. Keep cooking, brother.
No, yeah, absolutely. So you need to go in and have the mobs fucking attack you. That way they're the closer unity. That way there's actually stakes involved. That way it's not fighting in time. You're actually fighting enemies. So that'd be the first thing they do is make enemies be more aggro, make them get in your face. The second issue is that the abilities that you unlock from stage 1 to stage 12, it is the same floor. It's the exact same floor. And all they do is, on the next floor, we increase the HP. So you know what we did? We increased your damage. The next floor, there's more HP. So you know what we did? We gave you another buff to increase the damage. And it doesn't
Wait, they're doing Tower of Fantasy? They're doing the Tower of Fantasy shit?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, God.
That's all
bad,
it is.
Yeah.
At stage 1, it's 100 HP. You deal 100 damage. Next stage is 120 HP. Now you're doing 120 damage. That's all it is. These buffs need to change the style of play, not just increase your raw numbers, right? So, like, give the buffs that you're using an active ability. Like give it like an AoE suck that you can use or an AoE freeze or make the fucking characters fly. So the differentiation in play makes each floor feel different because every floor feels the fucking same. And I will admit, when you first play it, the first 7 floors are like, oh, this is fun. This is kind of exciting. Then you realize I've done this exact floor. There is no difference between floor 8 and floor 7. There was none. It's the exact same fight, but now I have a little bit more damage. They have a little bit more HP. And I think that's just really fucking bad game design. They need to
pull the buffs from Elusive Realm. Like Elusive Realm is like where you get things that change how your character plays. It gives a new certain mechanics into your character and certain buffs. I don't know why they don't just use the buffs from Elusive Realm in this mode. That would make
they're reworking it. They said. I don't know. We haven't had it for 2 patches, and I would argue that's most people's favorite mode is Elusive Realm.
The best part.
And for some reason, we haven't had it.
I would say that there are actually quite a few. I think they're starting that out with the tokens. There's one called the Plunderers one that like will heal you for 3% of your health every second, and then every 6 heal it does like 600% electro damage.
Yep.
To like the entire group, and it's like really good for like certain team comps, like a Jinxie or Carlotta, where you're like sometimes you overkill the enemies, and so like that electro burst like comes in and then like wipes the wave, and so you can like use your nuke on the next one. That's kind of like where the whole replayability aspect comes from for me. If they add in more and more of these tokens, differentiate them a lot more, make them more than just like the raw stat boost. I think like the structure is there to make this like very fun, be able to use any team you want and just shore up the weakness in the tokens. But it's kind of like, I just think there wasn't enough tokens, and some of them are horribly fucking designed.
Yes.
Like the gold Spectro Frazzle one is fucking useless. It should have just been all enemies spawn with 5 stacks of Frazzle and have a minimum of 1 stack. And now Phoebe's like actually playable in the game mode, right? It's just, it seems to me that the tokens were kind of like the biggest win and also the biggest miss. Because some of them are so good and so varied that the ones that are just like dog shit or not there or would enable more characters or comps not being there feels bad.
I mean, 95% of the tokens are increase your crit rate, increase your crit damage, increase your spectro damage.
Yep.
Oh, dude.
Just you do more damage. Oh, the enemy's tankier, but now I do more damage. This changes everything.
This changes everything.
Yeah.
So,
wait, so there's no. I'm sorry, guys. I'm consuming everything y'all are saying, and I actually have a lot to respond back based off what y'all been saying. But I just want to focus on that part. So y'all are saying there's no tokens because it obviously sounds like a roguelike mode that actually transform what the character does the way Elusive Realm does?
No.
There are tokens that transform what the character does. There's one that gives you
Okay.
a Resonance Liberation refund and Resonance Energy Cost refund whenever you cast a Resonance skill.
Do you know where it's from? That's from Elusive Realm.
Wait, but
Yeah.
That's the thing.
does that change like the
What
I don't know. Oh, wait,
I got no.
you call it.
I was trying to digest what Saint said, and Saint, I think that elevates their power. But what I was talking about is in the Elusive Realm, the characters literally like have their abilities like not just amplified, but it
Complete
changes what
changes
they
it.
do. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was asking. They don't have any of that in there.
Oh, I don't think they have direct character mods. Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, I was
Nothing of
thinking,
that
like, stuff that
impact.
changes
To-
how
to
stuff that
Saint's
changes how
point.
they play.
Yeah, I do think, like, for example, like Genshin Impact, for example, having abilities that are kind of like you E and then you alt and it refreshes your E actually does feel very cool because Kazuha,
Yeah, it does.
yeah, E, alt, it's C2.
Changli is a great example.
Yeah. Abilities like that do feel good. I want to see every ability like that. Just they have more HP, so now you deal a little bit more damage. It's like,
Yeah.
well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The difference between stage 1 and stage 2 is instead of dealing 100, now
Boring.
deal 120 damage. It's fucking lame.
It's very boring.
But yeah, they need to restructure it. Very great framework for what could potentially be a great mode, but right now they completely missed the fucking mark. Yeah, I also don't know how I feel about limited uses for some affixes before infinite stage. I don't know how I feel about that. Do we have any thoughts about how some of the perks have? Yo, Mary, thank you for the raid. What the fuck? Appreciate the fuck out of that. Thank you so much. Do we have any feelings about the limited use for some of the certain buffs?
I think it's okay for the most part, but if they make them more interesting, maybe it would make it so you're encouraged to use different cool abilities, so it might be good if it was just a better mode overall.
Yeah, I would say it's like I don't think the difficulty or the especially before the infinite stages is like so wild to the point where like you feel like a token is like mandatory. I think like with a built roster, and like you're actually like at the end game at this point, like just using like the baseline blue or green tokens should be enough for like an S clear in the earlier stages. And I think I view the tokens as sort of like a steroid boost, like a little stim pack for the especially in the early stages for accounts that maybe like aren't as near the end game, like fucking 40% crit and 80% crit damage is insane, right? And it's kind of just like one of those things that helps people clear the mode in the first place.
Well, the problem is
especially
the
part.
early stages you won't have that buff unlocked yet because that's
I think you have.
that's a yellow, that's a golden buff. You don't unlock that one till stage 8.
I think that's true. You unlock all of them after stage like 6 or 7, right? Once you get by the time you get into the respawning zone, you have all of them unlocked. And I think it is weird that the restrictions are shared across all of them. Like you have like the 1 to 6 tokens, but I think you don't unlock the gold ones until at the end, anyways.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you get the golden one at 8. You get the purple ones at 6 and 7. The banner you get at 4. The banner is actually quite good. But then
They're unlimited use.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Which is really nice. But it would be nice if those gave you a fun ability, like like a frozen AoE that follows you, a gravity suck that pulls things in, perhaps another like Nova explosion that happens around you for big bursts, something that could change the variance of play. Maybe have an ability that extends the reach of all of your abilities by X amount. Or makes a single target ability become AoE abilities. Could be very cool, I think. But yeah, I think we can agree that Wuthering Waves needs work. But good ground, good framework.
I want to interject because I haven't had a chance to talk on it at all. And I'm only going to take everything that y'all have told me and just sum it all up and then give a shoot shot. Basically, it seems like everyone except Saint Tontes in this call is basically saying it lacks creativity and it's pretty much a copy and paste of pure fiction, I would say.
Yeah.
And where I feel Saint Tontes on, because I love to dabble in meta myself, is the timer for me is only enjoyable because I just want to be able to see how I fare against some of the fastest times out there. And I really do enjoy that shit. I love getting sweaty. You guys know that. It's no shock.
Absolutely.
So I understand St. Tontes saying you getting that time down, that's a huge motivation. The problem with that though, Saint, where I want to go straight at you at is that's only for us sweaty players. What about the rest of the people who don't give a fuck about getting that time down? They just want to get the clear and clear on. The only real incentive for them, I would say, is just their reward collection. Why can't Kudo paint the entire canvas themselves. They keep using Hoyo as their base canvas and then going change this, change that, change this. I would have liked if their end game was a true signature Kudo cook that wasn't extrapolated from a Hoyoverse model. And I genuinely want to ask you, do you think that is okay that they constantly just keep deriving everything they do from Hoyoverse and changing it with the Kudo cook?
So what a lot of people have been saying for Whimpering Waste is that it's more so a combination of Warzone and a little bit of Norman from PGR. That's what most of the PGR players are saying. It's mostly similar to PGR. And I think when you think of the structure, right? It's you count the number of waves that you completed within a certain time limit. It sounds a lot like Pure Fiction, right? But where do you think Pure Fiction was derived from? Because it's a relatively recent release. So I think it's just like, how much can you do in a certain amount of time? I feel like that's like general enough of like a, that kind of competition, right? It's like it's been around since the fucking ancient times. Like, oh, how many bowls of noodles can Bob eat before, the 5-minute timer runs out, that sort of thing. And I think just based off of like the whole, it's similar to Warzone thing. Kuro technically might have done that first, right? And they're kind of like just lifting from their own game when they're making it. So yeah, I think it's original. I think it's like baseline enough as a concept to like be original.
I'm gonna be real. It's not original. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think it's a way worse Warzone. So you could say it's lifted from Warzone rather than something like Pure Fiction or something, right? But like, I don't really see how it's that original to basically just take Tower Adversity, which I think we can all agree is derived from Abyss. Like, I think it's a little bit disingenuous if anyone says it's not anything like Abyss, right? We all know it is. So it's essentially just that, but in AoE, really. Like, it really isn't that much different. And you could say, oh, but you have the trinkets instead of the buffs. But realistically, it kind of all boils down to the same exact thing, except now multiple waves of AoE rather than like a boss at the end. I think it kind of just works the same way. I don't really think it's all that original. I think Elusive Realm, that's an original thing. The holograms, that's an original thing. Both of those things are much more unique, and I would say pretty loved by almost all of us here. I think we all kind of like both of those a lot, and those are the original things that Kuro Games made. But every time they take something from Genshin, look, all of us get pissed over stuff when every time they copy things from other games. Oh, maybe not Genshin this time, but you know what I mean? Like, when they do those things, when they derive those things, it seems like that's when we're dissatisfied.
I think like reducing Whimpering Waste and saying it's just like a copy of TOA where you kill mobs, I feel like that's kind of like you could make that sort of like reductive argument for any content, like any content in the game. Elusive Realm is just TOA with stages and buffs, right? Like you can word it in that way and kind of just, or holograms is just TOA with like enemies that hit harder.
Okay, but no, holograms are nothing like either of those because it's not a bullet sponge. You're dying from the enemy, right? You're not dying from the timer.
That's what I'm saying. TOA with enemies that hit harder. That's holograms.
Well. I mean, like,
or
again,
hit at all. But
I mean, Genazot's comparing it to TOA. I don't know if I necessarily say TOA 100. I do think Pure Fiction is a better comparison, but I just think overall, I don't know why we can't get more original endgame content. Like, I know we could say that it's copying PGR and that's fine. But like, I feel like, again, like they said, Elusive Realm. Like, why can't we just get like something original? Or bro, just copy the tower from ZZZ. Like, the tower is like 10 minutes, and that like you fight the boss, and that shit's hard as fuck. Like, or reset holograms monthly or something. Like, I don't know why we can't just have something extra. And realistically, it is 1000% a Hoyo playbook because they took away a TOA reset and they're making this monthly, and they're both monthly, and they took the Genshin IT fucking schedule, and it's just like, I don't get why we're doing this. Like,
I don't like that either.
Wait, Ethan. I'm glad you said that because I think I have an idea for the game that I think all of you guys would agree with. I think everyone should be able to play the end game that they want to play because some people like TOA but not Whimpering Waste, and now they get to play less of it. I think they should have Tower and Whimpering Waste all reset at the same time, like every 2 weeks. And people should get to choose to play what they want for their end game. And I think they could also make a casual version, like let's pretend fishing. Let's pretend they expand the fishing and make like a fishing end game for more casual players. And it would all give the same asteroid, so you could choose which one you want to do. So every player gets to enjoy the end game that they like.
They did a similar thing in World of Warcraft, and that was very positively recepted for people to choose how they want to grind their gear.
You're literally pleasing everyone at that point.
Share,
I don't think anyone would be
where
against
they
it.
share the rewards. Yeah. So it's
Yeah, the
you've got
devs
the
are
same
big.
reward
So they have
shop.
to work.
True.
I think one of the strongest points that I heard though in the entire discussion, and Tech, we can move on after this if you want,
Sure.
brother. But it was what Tech said that the first of all, Wuthering Waves is a very reactive game. And I feel like the most of the enjoyment comes from one of two things from a combat perspective. It's either being reactive, which is what we had to talk about with Monster Hunter and Souls, or rotations. And the problem with the Whimpering Waste mode, based off of y'all's feedback, because I haven't played the shit, is it's only rotation derivative, no reaction. Tech's strong point at the beginning where he said the enemies just fucking, you know, that is a big fucking problem that I don't think anybody could disagree with, only because it's not tackling both elements of their beautiful combat system, which is reactive as well as rotational. Would you say that's a fair take, Saint Tontes?
I would say that there is a mix of enemy spawns. I definitely get the viewpoint of like when it's a bunch of like like the one cost enemies that they'll just get staggered by anything if you like hit them a couple times, like they're basically stun locked.
Yeah.
I feel like those waves are literally probably the worst part of the mode because one of them runs out awful time. But when you have the wave of like maybe 3 to 4 elites, see you, Ryuku. When you have the 3 to 4 elites who have the stagger bar, who will muscle through attacks, they don't get stun locked. Those are actually, I think, you can be in a decent amount of danger in those if you're just actually just like mashing your face on the keyboard. And I think having more of those would make more sense.
Right.
Where
build off of that.
Yeah, it's like 4 to 5 of them. Give them less HP, make them unstaggerable, give them like minor grouping where if you use like a suction move or something, they'll get like dragged in, but they won't get like CC locked. Having something like that instead, where you get benefits from grouping, but it's not like it just trivializes the enemies completely. They'll still attack, so you have to throw in a dodge. I think that's good, but we also have to factor in the whole, well, you're going from dodging one boss attack to dodging 3 elites at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? And there has to be a counterbalance of like, okay, like I literally didn't see those attacks because of the visual clutter. I felt like I got like hit or one shot from like, out of nowhere when there was like one mob that was hidden behind 2 others and then they attacked me. I think those are also elements to think about just from like the player experience point of view. It's that there's a lot of sources of frustration, I think, from mob-based content like that, where I think they toned down on the aggressiveness so that like those surprise one-shots, the aggressiveness and the damage, so that those frustrating moments wouldn't happen. But I can definitely see how it gets like monotonous, especially on the little mobs.
I would only say if you're doing a horde mode, it's going to be mayhem. That's just what comes with the territory, and plenty of games have that mayhem and chaos on the screen, and people fucking love it. But I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's just like one example I like to bring up is from the Elusive Realm, the early patch days. They would have spawns of like maybe like 10 of like the exile snipers. All 10 of them at once would shoot the laser at you, and if you didn't dodge, you would just get one shot. And this could happen on like the later stages. There'd be like 10 fusion warriors that would just like wind up, and then they'd stab you all at once, and then you get one shot. And it's like
you know what would make Whimpering Waste so fucking cool? Okay, dude. Okay, think about this shit. So they put you like in like a desert, and mobs are gonna spawn from like certain holes in the ground. And they're going to come, and you can see them, and if you can see the mobs coming through the hole, and you can AoE them down behind the hole, right? But then the other mobs are going to try to break through the other holes at the same time. So if you don't manage each one properly, you're gonna it's like Nazi zombies, but Wuthering Waves.
Call of Duty Nazi zombies. I was thinking that. Co-op too. That'd be cool.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, that'd be so fucking cool for the AoE mode. Make it Nazi zombies.
I was thinking like, what if you made it like Dynasty Warriors, where you're fighting hundreds of like they're switching and you're just mowing them down. Like, dude, Gion, each spin like 100 fucking echoes just go flying, dude. It's just insane. Like that's the AoE mode. Like you're just blowing up like thousands of echoes.
Yeah. At that point, you might as well drop buffs on the ground for you to pick up.
Yeah. When someone mentioned horde mode, I was thinking Dynasty Warriors for sure, absolutely. Like let's do that, and you have to find the different weapons which equates to buffs and such. Let's go.
Wait, really exciting ideas, Max. So like tons of modes. As you kill like 20 of them, a big boss comes, and you can fight them.
General.
And if you do, when you kill the boss, it drops a buff to boost up your damage, so you can choose to either kill the hordes of enemies or kill the bosses to get the buff to kill everything else faster. That could be a lot of fun.
What I thought about when I was thinking of that idea was just fucking Call of Duty zombie mode, where you would go around and you'd have to figure out the places to go into the next place. But then there was always a rare fucking weapon, and I was so excited to pick that weapon up and fuck shit up. And I feel like that would be a good element you could take. To wrap this all up, I think these gacha games need to start looking outside of other gacha games. Start looking outside of
be innovative
fucking games.
Yes.
And say, give me that shit, bro.
I've been saying this for a
they
while.
did.
Yes.
Dredge.
Dredge.
The fishing mode is Dredge, right?
yeah,
they are doing it.
That's
Right?
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And to be fair, even ZZZ has like what? It has the little Arknights mode. It has Fall Guys. Like they're starting to just be like,
They
let's
are
just
starting to
copy
do
that indie game, bro.
They're
They're just
starting to
copying the shit.
they're starting to follow the Chinese model here, man. That's what I'm talking about.
It seems like a lot of people just want to see something more unique as a mode that we've seen in whatever X gacha game we've seen previously, you know?
Yeah.
Well, let's move on from Wuthering Waves. I think we all can agree it could use some improvement. And we expect that from Kuro Games because they are devs that listen, so it is important to provide feedback. I think the fishing event, we would all agree, is a perfect event.
Bro.
Completely perfect.
Fire. That shit's fun, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like spamming the fucking click, and I'm dumb as hell, so I miss the timing because I got no rhythm. But, bro, it's a good time.
I know someone who didn't necessarily enjoy it, which I think is the controversial opinion, is Smack. I think you said you wouldn't enjoy this if you weren't in call with me and Genocide.
I feel like I'm biased because of you guys. I love you guys, and I was having a great time with you guys, not necessarily with the fucking fishing. But if I were to like end that call and play that fishing with nobody, like basically, let's say I'm somebody who doesn't have any friends or anything, I know for a fact I'm gonna be like, man, fuck this damn, bro. I'm tired of fishing, bro. Just give me my Lorelei skin, man.
Well, I think it's a bit unfair because we're streamers. I find it fun to do the fishing thing while talking to chat.
Yeah,
if I was just alone in a dark room playing fishing for like 8 hours and to finish the thing, I think that would suck ass. Even though, but I think there's a lot of casual players.
How did y'all feel about it?
What did y'all think, Chad?
I think a lot of casual players will like it, but I think people who aren't into it, it'll piss them off because it's so much. Yeah, it's such a long.
It is a grind.
If chat says they liked it, then I can't say anything.
Because it's mixed.
A lot of people are saying,
very mixed.
It's like people who like it will love it. It's an amazing mode, but if you don't like it, it's probably hell because it's like so much time you have to spend on the action event.
It's a lot of time.
You came to this game to do action. This is not action. Like, why am I here?
Yeah, you don't get to play your characters.
Will like that. Yeah.
Riku, man.
I don't mind something turning my brain off though. Like you said, just chatting with everyone, just like, all right, like fucking.
I thought the story was great too. There's a guy who wants to fuck a fish. You got to figure out what that is. I thought that shit was so funny.
You hit him over the head. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And you can have it, Grover.
Hopefully, everybody in chat is doing that fishing event while we're doing this podcast. By the way, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Kuro is known for making very fuckable fish. I'll put it that way. If you know, you know.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
When did this happen? Did I miss the lore or is it
Lamia?
PGR thing.
Lamia. You need to search for Lamia, bro.
Holy.
All right, I'll do that right after.
I'm clapping the fishy cheeks. I'm saying that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Lorelei too.
Okay, that's true. Lorelei, yeah.
Lorelei's amazing. But if I think it's fair to say if you love the event, you'll love it. If you hate it, you'll hate it. It's going to be very hit or miss depending on who you are, and I think that's completely fine. For me, loved it, so having a blast. Yeah. Completely valid if you don't like it though. Let's talk about the next of the new zones. I think everybody's summary will probably be, if you disagree, feel free to say they're good zones, but they're forgettable. They just feel like more of the same, nothing too crazy. Anybody blown away by the zones?
Even the Green Gods zone? I didn't go to that one yet. What about you guys? Y'all didn't care about that zone either? I didn't go to that one yet. I'm just asking for your opinion.
I thought
on rails.
Yeah. It's just the rail zone is whatever. It's fine.
If it was more free, open, like big underground area, I think people would like it more. But it's a little bit more like you're on a Disneyland ride, like It's a Small World starts playing, and you go on this little roller coaster thing.
There's
like
a big robot.
Too much of that. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, we haven't seen all of it.
A lot bigger in the trailers.
Yeah, 100%. The new zone opened up today, so there is one more zone we all haven't seen. At least I haven't. And we get to finish fishing today. So hopefully the question is good. But still a lot of what ifs. But overall, I think they're good additions, but there's not really any like, damn, like there was with 2.0 where it was like the golden clouded sea and then the rainbow on the fucking sky, the LGBTQ shrine. Yeah, that shit was insane.
Can you not fly in the bank vault?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't
I'm pretty
believe
sure
it.
you can't.
I thought you would have been able to like fly
Yeah,
in there, and then like
that's what I
Yeah.
thought too, and it would be
instead of
really
doing
cool.
the railroad, you just fly from like track to track or something. That would have
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
nice. But
The
I
moment
guess
they take the wings away, you're like, this
Fuck.
fucking sucks.
Yeah.
What the hell?
they
Yeah.
gotta ration
Good of
it.
it.
They gotta
No,
ration
you
it.
can't fly. Someone's tried. You can't fly. No.
It's too good of a mechanic, bro.
You're gonna overdose on the flying.
Can't grapple either. That is horrifying. Is what it is.
I gotta go pee, guys.
Sure, go for it. Let's go to the next one. The World Quest. Did we all do it?
Nah, I haven't really had too much time to do
Okay.
that.
Well,
I heard it was
time.
good.
Genuinely
I think
fun. Yep. Genuinely fun. A little bit of yapping. A little bit of NPCs we really don't care about, but overall,
it's voiced though, right?
I've
It's voiced.
heard that all the quests, even the side quests are like voiced.
Yeah, and they tell you like
Yes.
there's a timer. I think like so if an NPC is speaking, it's like there's 38 seconds of this dialogue or something. Like there's like someone sent me a screenshot. Hold on.
I have
I
not
don't know
seen
if it's
that.
from the World Quest.
I haven't
Hold
played
on.
it yet, so I don't know, but that wouldn't surprise me.
It was fun.
There was so many
little bit of yap.
updates. There were so many updates in this 2.1 update that they didn't even touch on in the live stream, which is insane because we thought they like throwing stuff at us, and if they like took time to actually explain things properly, that live stream could have gone for like double or triple the time, and they didn't even touch on anything. Like, did you guys know they have like frame generation in there as well, like along with the RTX?
I turned that off though.
like, I mean, yeah, you turn it off clearly, but it's like it would have been nice to know that it's turned on automatically if you have RTX as well. It's like I would have liked to have known that, you know. But there's so much stuff in there as well. Like just they could have given more explanation about the changes that they had to like the Echo menu system as well. It was a lot more granular, a lot more intuitive as well. Like also like when you're searching for particular sets, like before it was just like all the echoes just on the screen, like, as it is. Now it's like separated by like 4 costs, 3 costs, 1 cost, and then you can click on them, and even now it probably shows like where the nightmare echoes are too, which I thought was fantastic. It's great.
What's
they put
interesting
so much in there.
is I swear they just looked at Honkai Star Rail. They're like, holy shit, people are pissed about the camera angles and stuff and the voices. Okay, we're gonna crank it up to 11. So in the quest, they just have like every half a second, it's like going all over, and I'm like, holy shit. And then Rover immediately first second starts talking. I'm like, bro, they're just like trying to flex or something. Like they were just like, holy crap, let's just try and like show them wrong or something.
And send money going to good use. Also, apparently it was a voice letter, by the way. So like apparently even the letter is what it was. I'm trying to find the screenshot, but yeah, which is still dope. It's so cool.
Yeah, they added Echo loadouts, which we did not need yet, but it's a welcome addition. We will need that eventually. Right now, we kind of don't. Felt good. Other than that, I think that was pretty much the whole update. Did I miss anything?
I mean, there's that new weekly event. I think it comes out Monday. It's supposed to be like a mini depth.
Mini elusive, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be mini elusive. So we
1,000
don't have
gateways.
that yet.
Oh yeah, and the
But-
race game too. The race game.
The race game's already
I'm looking
fun as
forward
fuck.
to that. We can do tournaments on that.
What's
Yeah,
the best
I
one?
do plan on doing a tournament with that 100. percent
I just wouldn't want to body everyone, but you know.
Yeah.
Bring it.
I'm that guy. You know?
So, any other closing thoughts for 2.1?
What would you guys give as your rating for the patch?
6.
It's like a 7. I think it's like a 7.
I'd say 7, 8.
I think they're like a 7.5 if the racing
Yeah.
and the weekly is good, but it's like it's not 2.0 obviously, but it's a good follow up. Like I don't think there's inherently anything bad other than Whimpering Waste being kind of a little bit of a letdown. I don't think it's ruining the experience for me, you know.
Sure.
I can't rate it. I haven't finished the rest of this shit.
Yeah,
Only fish a bit.
I can't rate it either.
Fair. Great. I think we move on to what? I don't really think we need to talk about Genshin. Genshin we kind of already talked about before.
We can talk about it here.
Wait,
Yeah.
what is that game? I don't think you've ever talked about that game.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
can you tell me
It's a
about
new
that
indie.
game?
It's a new indie game.
Yeah.
Have you seen
By a
anything
small
on Twitter about
company.
Genshin
What's
lately?
your
or,
opinion on this game?
You know, I got called a cum guzzler because I said the game sucks on Twitter, bro. I was like,
Great.
what the fuck?
Love that. I guess I want to close this podcast with one more topic, and whatever y'all want to talk about, in case there's something that you did want to talk about that we haven't talked about. I feel like everybody here should try Limbus Company. I really do. It is a great narrative masterpiece. The combat is very in-depth. The community has been very enjoyable to interact with, unless you're St. Totas. It's been great. I mean, I got tons of threads on me about that game, but I do genuinely think it is important for at least me and anybody who really loves the gacha genre to understand that people often excuse the writing of these games as, well, it's a gacha game, it has to be bad. It's just not true. Games like Limbus Company tell a beautiful story very simplistically, and I think we should really raise the bar and expect more from the stories we're told in our gacha games due to the presence of games like Limbus Company. Yeah.
Yeah,
How's the
definitely.
gacha
I've
system?
been saying that. I've been saying it for so long.
It's all
I've been
free.
saying it for
You
so
can play
long.
you can play the entire game completely free to play, get every single unit. Like they're
Wow.
like you can
That's
literally
What the hell?
or actually, okay, I spent $10 on the battle pass already through that and just playing the game. It's like, oh, you can craft any unit in the game that you wanted to.
Oh,
It's like,
Damn.
oh, okay, let me just craft this unit right now. It's like now I have them forever. Dupes do nothing in the game.
So is it skins?
Okay, I just have
or
them.
what? Where do they make their
No,
money
so
from?
essentially there's 12 characters and all of them have alternates. So it's like Punishing Gray Raven kind of. So you get an alternate version. So like that character now is this version of them.
They
And
get
that's
their
what you
money.
play.
They get their money by player laziness.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Okay.
and like the
Wolverine
alternate like
is-
the alternate like identities that they give to each unit are like characters that you meet in the story.
Yeah, hashtag.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like so you don't really get any recruitable like NPCs, but the NPCs get turned into like a different outfit or
I'm gonna
not
play
even
this
different
weekend. I'm
outfit, like a
excited.
different version of the
Good.
character.
The
Yeah, it
also
looks
the
good.
number one best unit in the game is completely free to play farmable, and it's really funny because his name is Ring Ying San, and the character is so broken. The CEO did a showcase for him because he does the live streams himself, and he was pissed off because he says, this character's just way too fucking broken, and so he didn't want to show his skill 2 because his skill 2 is beyond busted. And yeah, he said, "I am so sorry for releasing a unit like this."
That's crazy.
So yeah,
That's based, bro.
Yeah.
yeah.
The reroll also only takes like 1 minute. It takes longer to log in and out than it does to even do the reroll. You just say skip tutorial and immediately roll. It's actually
Oh,
insane.
okay.
Wow.
Also,
this game
I
is
have a-
off to a good
I
start,
have a
bro.
great image someone linked to me on the first day because Saint had like a bad experience the first day and someone linked this image. I just put in Discord and I thought it was funny as fuck. Just like
This
I just thought
fucking
it was-
struggler.
That's your first day
This thing
experience.
ever.
somebody linked that in my chat. I just thought it was so funny because it's such a stupid meme.
Yeah, love that shit.
Can I just say one thing about like you just said about like even though it's a gacha game, it's actually got a good story. I've been saying that for like forever because I've been playing gacha games since gacha really first came out in Japan.
Yeah.
Did you guys know them? Well, anyway. And it's
Yeah.
like all the people that say, "Well, what do you
The
expect from a
Japan
gacha game?"
guy.
Like, and the Japan guy, yeah. And like, I'm like, why are you guys saying this? There's been so many games, so many great gacha games that have fantastic story. Like, I've seen how good gacha games can be. Gacha has nothing to do with the story or the quality of the storytelling at all. Gacha is literally just a monetary system. Like, that's all it is. Everything else is secondary. So you can get fantastic stories, fantastic storytelling, fantastic characters, and everything in gacha as well. Like, I really hate this reductionist, almost kind of defeatist mentality of like, what do you expect? It's a gacha game. Like, shut the fuck up. I swear to God, that is defeatist. That's annoying. It's like, it's just like, will you just play anything else other than slop? Because there's a lot of really, really good games out there, such as Limbus Company, such as Path to Nowhere, and all the other games out there. Just play those because you're just not getting good shit. I'm sorry.
Well,
You don't know.
Ryuki, you
talking
could
about.
argue that the gotcha system is the reason why they're shit, and the greedier the game is, usually it takes away from those other things because everything in the game revolves around the gotcha system and money, right? Like that's why they have to promote every new character the way they do, and it takes away from the story because they have to for the gotcha. So, in a way, everything comes into that gotcha. So the greedier it is, so that's why Limbus can have a good story. Because it doesn't make everything about the money, for instance, I feel. So it like kind of ties in a way, right? But it is the company's fault. You're totally right. Like it's their fault for being greedy
I
and
can
taking
totally see
away
that.
from those things, right?
I think there are various aspects of like the games that you can just
Yeah,
chalk up to.
I can totally see that.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are like some parts of the game that I feel like are inherently related to gacha and that like they're designed in a way that's gonna make more money. But I feel like other parts, especially when it comes to like world building, and I think storytelling in particular, that's like stuff where it's like I don't think you can even use gacha as an excuse for whatever the fuck is going on in HSR. I don't think whatever the fuck they did in 3.0 is selling any characters. In fact, I think whatever they did in 3.0 probably led to like less sales of characters. And I think like that's kind of like the most important stuff to call out, right? Where it's not you can't like it doesn't even make sense to use gacha as an excuse, and the implementation is just bad.
Well, I mean, you look at a game like Black Myth Wukong. I think it took about like maybe what 200 million to make, and it made $1 billion. You know, Hoyoverse makes close to $1 billion. I mean, it's a $30 billion company, right? Like people just use that as an excuse because I think they're just brain dead, and they're really emotionally invested into their company, whether it's Hoyoverse or whatever other gacha game it is. So they just don't want to give that criticism, or they're just scared to being told to off themselves in game.
Yeah, Ethan,
the other.
it's an interesting coincidence that there's 3 people who work at Hoyoverse that are billionaires. I wonder how that happened. Like, that's
Yeah.
weird. Where'd all the money go? Why are there 3
Yeah, like, what the
billionaires working
fuck?
there? That's strange.
You know, it's pretty crazy, but yeah, for sure.
Okay, wait. I need to ask this question. Which story is better, Saint? Wuthering Waves or Limbus Company? I don't know how far. I think you finished at least the first canto, I think.
I finished the
Right.
first canto.
Okay.
So I would say that Limbus Company, I don't think you can say that Limbus Company's storytelling is better. I think it's you know, like we were talking about before, it is like just PNGs, but I think the story is good, right? It's a story
Is it
that's
better,
good.
though, or is it worse?
I think
Which is better?
I think the overall story and the stakes is more interesting. I think it's a better story overall, but I think that the story experience of Wuwa, especially in 2.0, you could view that as the overall story experience in Wuwa.
You're
you
taking
could say it's
presentation
better.
into consideration.
Yeah, presentation
Yeah.
into consideration,
Yeah.
right? Because there's
Yeah.
only so much you can do with PNGs and text. That's my opinion on it.
Okay.
And like static images, and that is ultimately what Limbus is, right?
I
It's a
think that's
great
fair,
story.
man.
It's a great story,
Tectone React
but-
give you the side eye. I mean, Imogen is
Well,
that.
Well,
Like,
how I
it's-
see it is like I can read a book and I think it's way more insane than like a gotcha story. Like the visuals, they can enhance it, but they don't make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But-
I'm talking about
I mean,
the experience
fair.
of going through
Okay.
it because I always like to use the example of like a superhero movie, right?
Yeah.
Those make a shit ton of money. Those people like have a crazy diehard fans.
Let's
People
go
love watching
baldy.
them. But it's not like you're going into like Spider-Man and you're expecting like a fucking Grammy
Game
award.
of Thrones.
Yeah. Like, you're not expecting like a Game of Thrones, like an Oscar level performance of like, oh my gosh, like I feel like more fulfilled with my life after watching this movie. It's like, no, you wanted to see like fucking the web slinger go around and fuck shit up, right?
Yeah, the example of
and
Spider-Man 2 is
So
amazing.
Woowa is the Marvel movie then.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's those movies are popular for a reason. They don't have the best story ever, but their presentation is amazing. Like what dialogue or like story progression happens when Thor comes back to Wakanda and just fucks everything up, right? It's like, okay, yeah, Thor comes in and Thor came in and blew everything up, right? And then like Otto won the fight. But it's just presented so fucking cool, everyone loves it. Even though it's like, you know, it's not like a crazy thing that happened, right? It was predicted. Oh yeah, he's forging the Stormbreaker for like the entire past 30 minutes of the movie, right? He's gathering all the materials. Like, you know what's going to happen. It's very predictable, but people still look forward to it. And
So what you're
they thought it
saying
was
is
amazing.
that Wuthering Waves is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and Limbus Company is reading Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and different strokes for different folks, man.
Okay.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie,
there's some
He,
people
he needs
that
big
hate-
explosion. Whoa! Instead of
there's
like
some people hate
balloon.
books. Some people like the Michael Bay movies are popular for a fucking reason, right? I'm pretty sure they all have dog shit story, but he just bolsters up with explosions instead.
The Marvel movies for 100%. It's just majority of them is carried by us nerds, though. You know, we just want to see our fucking people just fuck shit up.
Absolutely. I think they're great, man. I think they're great. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on from this topic if we can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anybody have anything else they would feel remiss if we didn't talk about right now on this podcast?
No, I think we got everything.
Anything. Ryuku, I know you're a yapper.
I'm good.
Okay.
I am not a yapper. Thank you very much. But I'm good.
I see that you got that Death Star microphone still. That shit looks crazy.
Like it. It was just like by accident. I took the pop filter off just so it was getting in the way, and it just happened to be like that. And everyone was like, "Oh, that's his rectifier." I'm like, "Fuck, I'll stick with it."
Dude, that's what I keep saying.
Rectifier.
Bro, it's actually a rectifier, dude. It's actually an
great.
MTX or something.
Yep.
Do we want to talk about ZZZ?
What? There hasn't really been anything besides Evelyn. Evelyn has a huge ass.
It is fishing now.
Wood.
Is that game doing good now?
Would.
I feel like
Yeah,
it's
I
really,
think,
like-
I think
really well.
Zenless is doing great. Yeah. There hasn't really been anything new, so I don't really.
It's
think there's anything
doing
to
really
talk
well
about.
in Japan.
Zenless is a perfect example of that meal scenario I was telling you. Easily digestible, bro.
Yeah.
Easily digestible.
Yeah,
just- I
after they
don't-
took out the bones, that was the TV. The bones
Yeah.
in your fish.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just don't see anything on it. It sucks because I really want that game to be more popular, but because I
It
think it's
doesn't
fun
have a
as fuck.
U, Ethan. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yep.
Hey man, let's do it.
It needs a U.
Yeah, no.
Cool. Yo,
No, this was a good length.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it up to chat. Yo, chat, you have one last chance. Anything that you want to talk about that we did not talk about? Anything, any point. I'm gonna give you all 10 seconds to think of something. Okay, nothing. Loving Deep Space. Nobody cares. Just a bunch of fucking fat women being cringe. Okay, yeah. Explain my balls. COVID. Is he a new character?
Oh, apparently Brant is in the quest right now, so you can play as him.
Yeah, you can trial him.
Yep.
Yeah. To be continued, man.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well then, boys, this was great. Smack,
time, man.
Ethan, Ryuku, Saint, Genocide. You're free, man. You're free. Enjoy y'all's Valentine's Day with your girlfriends and or boyfriends. I don't judge. Either one's fine.
Yeah, thanks. I really gotta go. Yeah, I'm really busy, man.
I know,
thank
man.
you for ending it here, dude. Like, thank God. She was gonna get real pissed at me.
No,
Absolutely.
I'm chilling.
Pleasure talking with all you gentlemen.
Yep.
Until next
Yeah,
time.
that was great.
Good shit, boys.
Yep. Peace, boys. That was a genuine blast. Boys, make sure to go like, comment, and subscribe to all those creators. That was fun. Chat, you did good. You did. Very proud of y'all, chat. Y'all did great. Great energy, great vibes, and we will see y'all next Gatscast when there's something else to talk about. Bye-bye.